Hello. Today is my birthday, and I decided to do a birthday video. What am I going to discuss today? Firstly, I want to thank God for life, and I'm serious about that. I remember being in high school, as some would put it, secondary school, and my first real interaction with death is when one of my classmates died due to a car crash. Before we left school, another classmate died because of a car accident, and they were racing. But that doesn't, it doesn't really matter. It was just surreal. I was in my teens. They were the first people that I could say that I saw regularly at some point, and all of a sudden, they weren't there anymore. And that's when death became real to me. When I left high school, a former classmate died. She was ill. And I remember going to her funeral. Actually, one of the young men who died because of the car racing, I went to his funeral, and then the young lady who, she had, I'm not sure what she had, but she was sick in school too. We just never knew what she had, or I didn't know what she had. And she died. And so, excuse me if you hear something in the background. It seems like somebody's playing music. I don't know. But when those persons who I would have seen on a regular basis may not have been super close, but we spoke, when they died and I saw literal dead bodies in a funeral home, death became real at a young age. It became real. That was over 20 years now, I think, for each one of them. And I'm still here. And so I have to be thankful for my life. Whether you believe in God, you don't believe in God, listen, to be alive is a gift. They always say the present is a gift, etc. Um, being in the present, being here is a gift that I am so grateful for. I didn't do anything today. I haven't left my house yet. I may step out to a friend's house. I've been home all day. I made myself breakfast. I sat on my porch and I ate my breakfast. A little later on, I got myself prepared and I did my own photo shoot outside. And I came back in. I prepared a smoothie. I made some popcorn, mixed it with some fruit and nut, had my little trail mix, and I watched a movie. In fact, I watched a movie earlier, and I want to mention what that movie is because that movie had me in tears. That was a movie I was watching in while I was eating breakfast, and that movie had me in tears. This particular phone is giving me issues, but when I remember what that movie is, I'm going to let you know. And then there's another movie that I just finished watching called The Trial of the Chicago Seven, something like that. And that was a really good movie. But before, okay, this phone gives me a little bit of trouble. But that movie, it was about a mother and a daughter who got cancer. And I'm not going to give any spoilers in case you decide to watch it. It's on YouTube. But that movie was like had me very emotional. I was literally bawling. And it just really reinforced that concept of life and being alive. Let me find that movie. Two Against Time. So it's called Two Against Time. TWO Against Time. Excellent movie. I looked it up later on the internet and found that it came out in 2002. May have been a TV movie, it seems. Really good movie. And then this movie I watched on Netflix called The Trial of the Chicago Seven. Another great movie. right? Just totally enjoy my day by myself. Like I really did. Um, when I woke up this morning, I'm not really on social media anymore, so I've deleted my main WhatsApp. If you want to get in contact with me, like it's kind of limited now unless you have me on Facebook. So in the morning, I got some messages from some close friends in tears, had me literally in tears. Whew. I literally, you don't know what you mean to people sometimes until like sometimes your birthday when they really tell you, or randomly throughout the year. And I literally was in tears for some of these messages because, throughout the years, you go in and out of friendships, and, you don't find your core people until sometimes much later on in life. And even that, some friendships are seasonal, or some friendships, the way that they were based on you working together, etc. So if you leave that workplace, that friend is not really close anymore. But to hear like people write long messages, like one of my friends wrote a really long message, and he said he had been preparing that message over some days. I was truly touched by that. I was truly touched by that. Um, and so that's how my morning started. And then my mom called me and she was singing happy birthday to me. And, mommy is babe before anyone else as of now. Until someone else comes and takes her place, like a spouse or a child or whatever. And she sang me happy birthday. And it felt so good. Then, of course, the usual Facebook. And even like if you wish me happy birthday on Facebook, I even appreciate that because it's not every time you go on Facebook and you see it's someone's birthday that you're going to take your time to wish them a happy birthday. It's just the reality of the thing. I appreciate that. And, I'm just thankful for life. And I guess to get to the point, I want to say, because I do like to encourage people. I spoke to a friend last night and I shared some things about myself to her, and she was shocked because she never knew that was my situation, or certain things are my situation presently. And my big thing in life is to keep pushing, push through. There's times when I felt really low. You know what low means, and the kind of thoughts that you think when you're low. I had those thoughts, but I kept pushing. And I always imagine, like when I'm in my lowest place, I always say, how are you going to feel 2 months from now, a year from now? You usually feel better. You usually feel better. A long time ago, I remember a Lifetime movie was coming out, and when you have cable, they were like, I'm not sure if they still do it. I stopped watching Lifetime movies, but um, a Lifetime movie was coming out, and I remember in the trailer it says, "Don't make a permanent decision made based on a temporary situation," something like that. And as low as you may feel, a lot of our circumstances are just temporary. And even if it's not temporary, we still need you in this world to operate and function. I thank God I'm still here. I thank God that I didn't make some thoughts consume me, because they really could have consumed me, but I didn't let them. I thank God that I'm in the decade that I am. I'm the age I am. Last year was difficult because of some things that were happening, but we pushed through. We move, as people would say. This year, some points of it was difficult. I'm in a stage right now where I have to make certain decisions. I'm not happy about certain things. And where I thought I could have lasted a bit more in certain circumstances, I've realized that nope, I can't last anymore in certain circumstances. So I have to make quick moves. I'm happy to be alive to make those kind of decisions, to make those moves. I'm happy to be alive. My theme for my life right now is new growth. I'm into gardening now. I have a little garden outside. I'm growing this, I'm growing that. Um, in the initial stages, listen, my neighbor probably thought I was a crazy woman. I just had things just like looking like I'm always on my porch, doing this and doing that, and there was nothing there. You couldn't really, from the outside looking in, you could not see anything being produced. Right now, I harvested one cucumber last week. I harvested another cucumber yesterday or something like that. I see another cucumber growing. That's going to be my third cucumber. I am excited. That's despite my cucumber plant being infested by these caterpillar things. I'm able to cut a little basil or two. I have some pimento peppers growing, as Caribbean persons refer to it as seasoned pepper. I am ecstatic. Like those small harvests, like some kale. I'm happy about these things. So that garden was symbolic for this theme of my life of new growth, like new things happening, new things growing. And you know what? It wasn't like it's not the final stage that I'm excited about. I'm excited to see the little seedling grows. Like that made me excited. This is why this new growth theme in my life is about um celebrating the small things. And I realized I've always been a new growth person. I've always been a person who celebrated the small things. It doesn't take much. And for some people, it's like they like think that you devalue yourself because it doesn't take much. I'm not talking about in relationships and stuff like that, but even sometimes in those things, it doesn't have to take much to impress you. You know, you could be impressed by the small things that um, people actually don't think about to do as often. Sometimes people are, they want the big things, but that didn't take much thought, because if you Google, you know, how do you impress a woman, buy her a car, do this, do that. But when somebody puts thought into something that you into experience, that's where you're like, okay, I can see. Sometimes that takes more work, because if you want to order something for someone, you just order it. But when you have to like make a meal, or when you have to, like think of something creative to do, that takes more work, right? I'm telling you, growing these plants that I have now, they took work. Some of the growth was stunted for some of my seedlings. If they were still alive, I left them, and now I'm seeing this Hungarian pepper that the Hungarian wax pepper, I think it's called. It was a seedling for about 3 to 4 months, and now it's growing. That's the new growth I'm talking about. I'm going here, I'm going there. I think the main thing is that I'm thankful that today, October 1st, I'm thankful to be alive on this day. I'm thankful to be alive on this day. I spent a beautiful day with myself. I have not seen one human for today. Well, I saw somebody leaving to go to work, but literally one human intentionally today. So thus far, and I've had an excellent day. I encourage you, as this video approaches 15 minutes, to be thankful to be alive. If you're going through something, to keep pushing. Think of yourself a year from now. You would be healed, or going through your healing, and you would see things differently. Enjoy the small wins, the new growth, right? Things will get better, for real, for real. And that's coming from somebody who's been knocked down, knocked down, knocked down. So, in closing this video, I wish you well. And I hope this is not my last video of this type, right? If you're seeing this and I don't know you, take good care of yourself. You are loved by someone. And if you don't feel like you're loved by someone, love yourself. You're your first point of contact. So until next time, thanks for tuning in.